His Imperial Majesty the Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Eniton Ogunwusi, Ojaja II, thank you so much for joining us on today's program.
Thank you very much.
Your Majesty, you were an accountant, you're also an entrepreneur, and you are a real estate developer. How are you able to juggle business and the demands stemming from your throne?
Well, first of all, the King of Kings brought me to this throne, not by my power, nor by my might, but all glory, all honor, all adoration to him. However, it's pretty difficult to juggle the two together. That's the truth. Something must suffer.
I agree.
When I was an entrepreneur, I did it very well to the peak. But now I'm a monarch. To the glory of God, I must do it well.
So you're fully focused now on your traditional
100%.
Awesome. So you're very passionate about youth and women development. You've spoken about this in extensive details, especially in your 11-point agenda. So can you tell me how you've impacted the lives of women and youths since you ascended to the throne?
Thank you very much. Number one, I'm not a politician. This is a sacred calling from the Almighty God. And for me, it's something that I have passion. I'm very passionate about youth emancipation. That's my greatest strength. So coming to this throne, it's a very good platform for me to do what I know how to do the very best in my life, and which is youth emancipation and women development, and by coming up with a lot of initiatives.
Let's speak about those specifically. On November 14th, 2016, you secured a 7.6 billion naira loan from the Bank of Industry to empower youths and women. You've also talked about building the Ife Grand Resort to drive tourism to Ile-Ife. You've talked about also empowering 20,000 widows to be working in this resort. So what's the level of establishing this grand resort right now?
The resort is under construction. We're like about 50–60% done now. Before the end of the year, by the very special grace of God, we'll open the first phase so that we can open up tourism the more in Ife, because Ife is known all over the world to be a very ancient city with potential, very huge potential for heritage sites, very mysterious and heritage sites. We're now trying to blend tradition and modernity for people to see all the mysteries that God actually planted and implanted in this town. There are mysteries that has to do with creation of the entire mankind. We need to let the world know that indeed the world started from somewhere and it belongs to all of us. So we want to use tourism to drive that. We want to use, and tourism has to do with movement of people. When you move a lot of people, there will be a circular flow of income and proper wealth redistribution.
And speaking about tourism, you visited the United States, the United Kingdom, and Ghana recently, where you promoted the Nigerian culture very brilliantly and beautifully. What was the outcome of those visits?
Well, we are seeing the results so positively now, because the major problem in this world is problem of identity. A lot of people can't actually identify themselves very well. And to me, I belong to the school of thought that the greatest joy in life is joy of origination. A lot of African Americans and a lot of groups that are of African descent, they don't have a link to where they came from. So we need to let them know that indeed you were enslaved, but you were no slaves. In the 18th century, there was nothing like demarcation, there was nothing like Ghana, there was nothing like Nigeria. We had kingdoms all over the continent of Africa, and we respected ourselves because we know that we are all from one source. Nothing like Nigeria, nothing like Ghana, nothing like Togo, but kingdoms. So Yoruba kingdom actually extended till Ghana, This the southern part of Ghana, majorly southern part of Ghana. Over 60% of Ghanaian as a country. And the Ghanaians living there, they have actually traced their route back to Yoruba land. So we decided to just see how to bring everybody together in as one big happy family.
Awesome. Has these trips that you've been on, have they been able to drive some foreign direct investment to Ile-Ife?
Affirmative. We're blending the private sector initiative with the support from the government. We don't want to leave everything to the government to do, but to do proper blending. If you look at Lagos as a good example, very little involvement of government, not in terms of execution, but if you look at the GDP of Lagos as a whole, 85% of it is driven by private sector. But what government does is just wait and tax them. And that's why Lagos has the highest generating IGR all over Nigeria. If you break it down, it's the 5th largest economy in the whole of Africa. That's just one state out of 36 states. So if we can do proper blending of private sector initiatives vis-a-vis government initiatives, things will go on, and that's our focus.
But given the current recession Nigeria is facing today, you mentioned at a recent event in Kwara State, I believe, that the sole solution, well, the major solution to Nigeria's, to getting out of the recession we find ourselves in today is to invest in locally made goods. How do you intend, or how would you advise the government to do this? And what are some viable business opportunities that people can exploit here, invest in here, the goods and services of Ife?
Well, our major problem in Nigeria is we don't practice what we preach. If our leaders should ask themselves question as they're going into the bathroom every day, the soap you're using to have your bath, where out of 774 local governments in Nigeria, we have youths everywhere. Who is manufacturing what? At least I've made it as a point of duty and principle that 60% to 70% of what I put on and what I eat and everything concerning my way of life must be from Nigeria.
So you believe the federal and state governments are basically playing lip service to the Made in Nigeria campaign?
Absolutely. The contract they're issuing out, what's the local content percentage there? The contract they're giving out to everybody. The chairs they are using to sit when they're having meetings. Have they asked where did they make them? Which factory? If it gets spoiled, which factory will help them maintain it? The road contracts they're giving, are they blending the bitumen in Nigeria or they are still importing? If they are not blending the bitumen in Nigeria, why are they not blending it? How many capital flights money are we having being taken out of this country? Are you giving foreign contractors jobs? Yes, you can. I'm not saying you shouldn't give them jobs, but how well are you monitoring the way they spend the money? I hear that they take like 30% or whatever percentage of their profit. That once you get mobilization, they wire it out of the country. That's very counterproductive for this economy. So we need to be very serious. Every move we make has a positive and negative impact down the value chain. And it spreads across the entire 774 local governments.
I agree with you, Your Majesty. Let's switch gears a little. During your coronation, you pledged to reunite and promote unity amongst the ethnic groups and traditional rulers. On January 17th, 2016, you broke an 8-decade, I don't know if I should call it a tradition or rivalry, between yourself and the Alaafin of Oyo. Can you talk to us more about this process? Why did you do this, and what has been the outcome or backlash thus far?
Well, I belong to a school of thought that what's the essence of rivalry? God is a perfectionist. There's a reason why God structures things the way He does. Why is it that sun must come out at a particular time and it must set at a particular time? Why is it that we have day and night? So for that, why supremacy battle? We all belong to one supreme being. That's who we should all be accountable to. So for me, it's very important for us in Yoruba land to come together. This is the ancestral root of the entire Yoruba race. But Ifes don't wage war. Ife don't go out to conquer kingdoms, but everybody came from there. So the respect is there, a mutual respect. So people just misread it that it's like a supremacy battle. So my point is we should face the fact, forget that issue of supremacy battle. Let us all come together to make our society better.
Some will attribute this reunion between the Ife monarch and the Alaafin of Oyo to the reason a recent rift between yourself and the Oba of Lagos took place. Is there any truth to that?
Rift? There was no rift. The media just over-celebrated it. No rift. I respect...
You hold no personal grudges towards him, despite the fact that he was...
I've known him before. When I was a prince, I lived in Lagos, and you give honor to whom honor is due. Everybody, one way or the other, must have passed through Lagos.
But quite a few monarchs in the Yoruba tradition castigated the Oba of Lagos for behaving that way towards you.
Well, it's their personal view. But for me, we don't have any issue. I don't have any issue. All is well, no problem.
Okay, so back to the youths, because I know this is a passion of yours. This is a core focus of your reign as the Ooni of Ife. We've talked about the population. 70% of people in Nigeria, 182 million strong population, are young people between the ages of 18 and 35. What can the government do to empower these youths, to ensure that the development that we need, the infrastructural deficit that we currently have, is met?
Why must it be government? Why?
Government sets the enabling environment, right?
Absolutely.
Without the enabling environment, business cannot thrive.
So who is government? Can you answer that question?
Well, the people we elected.
Thank you. It is the people that is behind government. The power is, if you are not happy with your president, you go for another election and you will vote your president out. If you're happy with your president, you will continue with that government for them to be in power. The truth be told, we Nigerians, we don't know our right yet. Our voting power, we don't know it yet. Until we know it, then we will stop complaining, especially the youth. Once we know it, we won't complain again. So my school of thought is, let us first of all organize ourselves and let us talk positively about this country. Let us stop derogatory hate speeches, things that will continue to divide everybody further. You know, when you project things in a very positive manner, you have a lot of positive energy around it. But too many negative energies in this country, unfortunately. If we put positivity into things we do in this country, everybody will blame government. Everybody will blame government. That means when you are blaming government, you are blaming yourself. Didn't you go and vote? You went to vote, so you should blame yourself.
Well, in a situation like the present administration, Nigerians voted for change. Today, a lot of people are complaining that they're not seeing the dividends of change they voted for. So what would you advise youths who find themselves in that situation?
To me, unfortunately, the discovery of crude oil messed us up. It has been a disservice, not a blessing for this country. Because that is not the foundation of this country. No, the foundation of this country, let us go back to it. Did you see any sign of crude oil in Nigerian flag? Did you see it? The flag is green, stands for agriculture. The one in the middle stands for peace, and the other one is agriculture. So agriculture, peace, agriculture. So why didn't we get that fundamental essence of a nation right? All of a sudden, we discovered crude oil and we got distracted. So to me, that really distracted us. Hence, all the problem we're having now. We should go back to the root of this nation. If we make 10 naira from crude oil, we should spend 9 naira on agriculture. So the truth be told, we got our fundamentals wrong. So we are very impatient in Nigeria, and that's why we are doing everything fast, sharp, everything on the run, on the move. And that is what is affecting us.
So are you saying those who are saying they're not feeling the dividends of this change are impatient with the government?
Because, like I said, don't let us shy away from that fact. We have gotten it wrong from day one. So my point is, if we have been naturally a patient country and the people of the country, things will have been better for us. So Nigeria, we had a very beautiful fundamentals, but we are not implementing it well.
2019 is just around the corner, Your Royal Majesty, Your Imperial Majesty. What is your advice to Nigerians watching, especially the young people who have the power to vote, who have the energy to vote? What's your advice to them, giving the background of the patience and getting the fundamentals rights that we just discussed?
The truth be told, Nigerian youths, they don't know their power yet, unfortunately. Power belongs to the youth of Nigeria. Once they can get themselves together, power belongs to them. So my advice is they should stop hate speeches. They should stop being not focused. I understand the frustration. I understand absolutely. All my life, I leave it for the youth. Morning, afternoon, night, every day of my life. So my advice, 2019, they should vote right. Whoever that they think that will do Nigeria justice, that will not divide us further, that will unite the country and make us to be a better nation, let us all rally around that and go for it.
Speaking about youths looking up to you, you are a role model to a lot of young Nigerians. You're a Christian as well, you're a devout Christian. But I realized during my research that there are traditions the Ooni of Ife has to practice to ascend the throne. So among these steps are rituals and initiations which are performed. For example, it's mandatory for the Ooni of Ife to belong to the Isoro, correct me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Isoro cult, and spend 21 days in the forest. So how did you kind of match your responsibilities as the Ooni of Ife to, your Christian faith? How did you juggle both?
Well, that's another thing that we miss in this world. Point of correction, I'm not a Christian alone. I can be called a Muslim too. I practice all the religion.
Oh, wow.
Very well. I go to the mosque to pray. I go to the church for service. So, yes, you're correct, I'm a traditionalist. Yes, you're correct, born a Christian. But the only one that you didn't have is, I am a practicing Muslim as well. And I will tell you something that people don't understand. Every religion is one. But we have a different perspective to different religions, because God is one, unitary God. And for me, I've been able to see the light, that there is nothing that is demonic in our ancient traditional religion. Nothing. It is the Western world that painted it to be demonic.
But can I just take you up on step 5 of the 7 steps you need to ascend the throne? It says the Ooni of Ife would have to meet an old woman in spirit to receive the power left by Oduduwa. The old woman will give him all power.
What did you call it? Ogun?
No, Oduduwa.
You need to meet. Can you read it again? I didn't get that.
Sorry. Step 5 is the Ooni of Ife would have to meet with an old woman in spirit.
Old woman?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
To receive the power left by Oduduwa.
Right.
The old woman will give him all power over the Yoruba race. How do you align this with Christianity? What does that mean?
What's the meaning of Christianity? Followers of Christ. Jesus Christ never practiced Christianity. Jesus Christ was not a Christian. People don't know that. Jesus Christ came for a reason, sent by God, clearly. All the ancestors that God sent them for a reason. God sent Oduduwa for a reason. And Oduduwa achieved that aim to create the world. And there was another reincarnation of Oduduwa that started kingship system in the world. And everybody took it from there, both the white race and the black race. So you have to pay obeisance to your ancestors. It's in the Bible, it's in the Quran. And as the first king of Ife, we have to pay obeisance to Oduduwa. So yes, the spirit of Oduduwa lives in every Ooni of Ife, and the spirit of Oduduwa still lives in me because I am the custodian. It's called Arole Oduduwa. I am the one in charge of the throne of Oduduwa. So that's what it means.
Another point of clarification in this issue, you were married from 2008 to 2016. We did our research and we found out that your first wife, the Oracle, told you to. This is what we're reading. That's why I'm here for you to clarify this. The Oracle told you to marry another wife. Is this true?
The Oracle does not lie. In life, destiny matters for everything in life. So it is my destiny that will happen. And nothing can change my destiny. And nothing can tamper with my destiny. It is the true destiny I chose from my Creator. So, when people read meaning in different ways, destiny cannot be changed.
Very lastly, Your Imperial Majesty, where do you see Ile-Ife 5 years from now?
I see Ile-Ife as home for tourism and destination for religious tourism. And I see Ile-Ife as a city that is very accommodating to accommodate the youth, and further developed as a university and tertiary institution town. I see Ile-Ife overall as a mirror of the entire world.
Your Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife, thank you so much for granting us this interview.
God bless you.
God bless you too. That's it for today's program. I'll see you same time, not the same place, back in our studios in Abuja next week. And until then, don't forget you can read news in sustainable development and current affairs across Africa on our website, www.tostvnetwork.com. You can also follow us on social media at The Osasu Show, at TOSTV Network, at Osasu Igbinajan, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Until next time, take very good care of yourself. God bless you.